And then just as we did at the bottom, I'm going, well, when we get there, we're going to go back up through here, but I'll show you again, we're going to run our needle through that bottom thread between two cubes. That way we don't have to pass up over a cube. See how this is bringing them in line? Okay, so we're going to run it back through this end cube. This is where we were tightening. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it through under the threads of the second and the third cube there. This is to reposition the thread so we'll be ready for the next row. And we're just going to bring it just as we did in the very first cube row. Okay, now we're back and we're ready to start the next row. And we're going to start this row here again, and so what we're going to do is we're going to pick up 2 11-0s, actually 1 11-0, 2 3mm, and then 1 11-0, and we're just going to go back through this cube, second cube. We're going to start this row over. And then what you will do when we get to the end of this row is start yet another row of the herringbone with the 8-0s. And you do this, and I did count, and it is 7 sections. Okay, now that we're down here to the last stitch, you're just going to repeat this until we get to the end here. And I did it again. I forgot to put an 11-0 on here. Alright. One more 11-0. What we're going to do now, or what I'm going to tell you now, is I'm going to flip the work over. Again, I'm going to come through those threads there to reposition my needle, bring it up. We're going to go all the way up through the purl to start our row of 8-0 herringbone again. Now, to get the right length, not counting this very first row, you're going to do 7 sections of this cube, 7. And that will be the correct length. And so again, all you're going to do is start this again in 5 rows of this. Pick up 2 8-0s, go through the purl and the 11-0, and just do this all the way across. And again, you're going to want 5 rows of the 8-0 stitch here. And then I will go ahead and finish this to the length of the bracelet. And if you don't want it to be as long as the 7 rows, you might want to test it, because it's going to be a little over 6.5 inches, I believe, when you do the 7 sections, and you may want it to be smaller. Then, you know, stop ahead. But then what I'll do when we come back is we'll be ready to put the clasp on. Okay, I did go ahead and finish my bracelet here. I'm down to, I did 7 complete sections. That would be an 8 cube rows end to end, and that measures just about 6.5 inches, maybe just a slight bit more. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put on our clasp, and I want to work my way to where I can come out of this third cube here. So all I'm going to do is just run my needle back through here and back up through here, and we're going to add half of our toggle. This is putting me about the middle of the end here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up 9 11-0 seed beads. Okay, and then I'm going to bring those down. And I'm going to string on half of the toggle. I'm going to go ahead and do the round end first. And I'm going to count until I have, from the base here, I want 4. So I'm going to bring my needle through this 5th seed bead. And this is where I'm going to create. And let me check first, because I'm not sure that these seed beads are going to go through my loop of my toggle. And if they're not, I need to half these. Yeah, they're not. Nope, they did too. Okay. If they don't fit through your toggle, your loop of your toggle, then you may want to half them. But what I've done is I'm creating a little loop with the seed beads here. And I've got 4 here on the base. I brought it through 1. So I'm going to pick up 4 more. going to come through this third cube again here, and we're going to pull this tight. And see what I mean? See how I've created this little loop here? And we've shared one seed bead to come back through, and we've just bridged this. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up through these cubes again, tighten it. I'm going to come back. I'm going to run back up through. Go all the way across here. We want to run it through that loop at least one more time. As I come back through here, it comes up the right way. Okay, I'm going to run it back up through these seed beads. And then we're going to run it back down through our work and do some half hitch knots, just as we do in all of our seed bead work. We're already through that. Okay. This just is going to reinforce this. And that's the shared seed bead right there. Back up through the loop. And bring it around where you can see it. And back down. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it up through here. I'm going to take this thread right here, do my half hitch knot. I'm going to run it, the needle under the threads. Okay, I'm going to run my needle through this loop that I've created. And back through the cube, back through the pearl. I'm just going to bring it down in my work a little bit through here. One down. And tie a couple other knots. And tie one right here. And I'm going to go on through another couple of beads and tie another knot, and then we'll trim this thread, and then we can repeat this process for the other end of the bracelet to complete it. Now that I've made my last knot, I'm just going to run it through a couple of more beads to hide the thread. And trim. And then we've created half of our toggle, and then we'll do the same for the other end.